Ah, Victorian era, right? Wonderful time period, a lot of top hats, a lot of nice waistcoats and all that sort of stuff. As you know, me being a magician for trade, for a living, an illusionist, the golden age of magic was also during the Victorian era. A lot of top hats. I mean, for goodness sakes, top hats were kind of synonymous with what we do, even though I don't actually use one because it's just not the style I do. But we're not talking about magic today. We are actually talking about Victorian era, and we're talking about animals. Look at that. That's a Westie in a top hat with a pickaxe. It doesn't get a lot better than that. We used to have a Westie, as you know. But let's take a look right now at Raccoon Tycoon. Although you wouldn't know it hardly from the front. Look at this. There's a cute little animal here. But we're going to get inside right here and see how this economic game from Glen Drover and Forbidden Games plays right now. So, what does Raccoon Tycoon consist of? Let's find out. So, here we have everything that comes in the box. You get some of the finest paper money in board gaming. Now, you say paper money, Brian, that sounds terrible. Notice the glare when I do this, right? That is because this stuff is laminated. You see how easy it spreads between your fingers? This is paper money that actually can fan in your hands because it's so silky smooth and it's easy to pick these up. It's not one of those things where it's really hard to separate them. If you want to grab 3 of them, it's easy to just go 1, 2, 3, boom, you've got 3. So just know that that is a plus. Plus, it's really cute. I mean, they're all just really cute. But you also get all these nice resources. I'm not going to take them out of the bag because honestly, you just stacked them to the side of the table anyway. But you have things like wheat. You've got the tools. You have anvils, which are nice for steel. These are pretty cool. They're little item token anvils. You've got craft goods, which look like wine bottles. You have coal, which looks like coal cars. And then you have these nice little 3 stacks of wood for logs. Very cool. So you have these are your main resources. You also have the world's largest starter player token and thickest starter player token. It's amazing. My little 7-month-old daughter loves chewing on this thing. It's humongous, it's chunky, and it's adorable. You have your price and production cards. We'll go around that in just a second when we talk about how to play the game. You have your buildings, which actually, when you start the game, they will stack down here. You'll have some of these starter buildings out, which are 2-sided and can potentially get better based on what you pay for them. You have your town cards go in the town stack. The mission cards, everybody gets a couple mission cards. You'll draft out what these are. These are things like have the most towns at the end of the game. Have the most money, have the most wheat, or you get more points per wheat you have. Just a lot of different things to tweak your game to make it specific to you. Your actual railroad cards over here. Look at this. This is where it shines. You got the Skunk Works, Sly Fox. You got Tycoon Railroad. You got Sly Fox, Fat Cat, Big Bear, Top Dog Railroad. Look at that. Isn't this amazing? The art in this game, absolutely gorgeous. These are what it's all about right here. This just looks so good and so cool. And there's 2 for each of the different railroads as far as this is. Notice also the size of this card. You couldn't back palm this card. These are great. They're good sized cards, nice chunky materials. The railroads will go here on the railroad deck. The town cards, these are basically a flat point cost that you get at the end of the game. Plus, if you pair it with a railroad card, which you get through auctions, they're worth an additional set of points. Usually it's 2 points, but some of them have a flat cost of 5. And you'll set these up in descending order. So the beginning ones are 2 down to the 5s. Also, the cost of them is the left is the specific goods it costs. The right is you can spend any of the number listed there. So right now it's 2 wood or any 4. Later it can be 5 wood or any 8 to get the Canterbury Woods here. But it's good because it's 5 points plus 2 points for the railroad tag team, which we'll talk about in just a second. Whenever this deck or this deck is empty, the game ends. Now, you'll also put one of each good up here on these resource tracks. Let me do that right now. Just like that. These are the price markers. At the beginning of the game, they start at a certain level, and based on what you do with these production cards, they will rise or fall based on what you sell. So, for instance, when on your turn, you can do one of 5 things. These 5 actions would be either production, which means you take one of the cards that are in your hand over here. The top part is the price adjustment part. So the price will go up on what's here in the top, and you will gain what's in the bottom. 3 of them that are in the bottom. You can get more later depending on your buildings, but currently this will raise the price of wood and these craft goods by 1. So it'll just move up like that. So every time someone plays one of these cards, the top part will happen in the blue, and then you'll claim whichever 3 goods you want at the bottom. Again, you can get more later. So let's just say I took the wheat, the coal, and the wood. I'll get those in my area. Those are useful for spending on the towns like we mentioned, but also the other action is these. Let's just move these and adjust them for a second. Later on in the game, the prices might be like this. The other action, the next action you can do is sell a commodity. So you can sell one type of good, as many as you want of that type of good. So if you sell 6 wood right now, that's $48 worth of wood. Now you'll drop it per one you sell. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Makes them now $2 a piece. So if you do this right before someone else is about to do it, you're going to manipulate the price for them. Love it. I love the fact that you can see what's coming, and hopefully you can sell yours before someone else drops the price and just floods the market with the supply. So therefore the demand goes down and the price lowers. Now when the demand is high, the supply and all that sort of stuff, you can sell for a good bit. Sorry for me trying to give you some basic economics there, but the point is you want to sell high, buy low, sell high, basically, right? So if you're selling coal, you're selling 4 coal at $13 a piece. That's pretty great. That's 4 and 3 is 12. What is that? $52. It's an easy way to gain some cash by selling your goods. Now, what do you need cash for? Well, the next item you can do would be an auction. So there will be 2 cards out here. The next action you can do, there'll be 2 cards sitting out here. These are the 2 railroad cards that are available currently. This is the Top Dog and Tycoon. Now, these are random, but at the end of the game, these are worth sets. So if you have 1 Top Dog card, it's worth 4 points. If you have 2 top dogs, it's worth 9, 15 for 3, 23 for 4. It goes up with some of them. The bear and the raccoon have a little bit more, I think, and then the skunk and the cats are worth a little less. But the minimum bidding price is $6. So if you want to put up one on for auction, you say, okay, let's put up the Top Dog Railroad. Someone will go around. Obviously, you start the bid at 6. It goes around. It does not stop, though. It's not a one-turn thing. Everybody places their bid. If you win it, your turn is over. You keep that railroad card. If you lose it, you get to take another action, which includes doing another auction if you wanted to, or you could then sell goods or produce goods. Now, you say, well, what's the point of that? Why would it let you do 2 auctions in a row if you wanted to? Well, the thing is, money is kept secret. So the only way to really find out how much money someone has is as they're going to pay for something. You can tell if you tap them out. So if you really want Top Dog and you don't get it, well, at least you have a potential to get this based on the fact that if you got outbid, you know that someone has maybe 60, 30, 40, $50 less than they did. So you have a better chance of getting it. So it's just a nice way to, it doesn't immediately put you out for the turn if you lose an auction. I think that's a really great mechanic. There have been complaints that slows the game down. We have not seen that, and I don't know how that could even happen, because these actions, you'll notice, happen very quick. When you play this card, boom, 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 we'll raise this, boom, boom, raise this, and then we'll take my 3 goods. It's your turn. See, I mean, that's very fast. Okay, I'm selling commodities, so it's 1, 2, 3. Can I have $42, please? Boom, there you go. It's your turn. The next action you can do, the railroad auction we talked about, that's the only one that can kind of slow down. Purchasing a building, pay the cost in the bottom right of the buildings here. You get these buildings, they do certain things. So this would be when you produce any goods, you gain an extra coal. This would be gain extra iron, gain an extra set of goods, and gain extra wheat. You can pay the cost again, or the cost is on the back here to flip it and get the better version, which would be +2. But there's a ton of different buildings in here which do things like store 3+ commodities. So normally you can have a limit of, I believe it's 8. It's either 8 or 10 commodities, but this allows you to store 3 more commodities than you normally could. This means you can purchase 2 buildings at a time, which is nice. So if that's your strategy going forward, buildings are worth a point at the end of the game. Trading for says buy any commodity from another player at market price. That's pretty nice if they'll allow you. I'm not sure what the FAQ is on that, if it's mandatory or not. Store 3+ commodities, $5 commission each auction held. That's pretty awesome. $2 or 2 wood. There's that one. Max hand size goes to 5 instead of 3. Each building's worth an additional victory point. Each railroad is worth an additional victory point. And then, so you get $1 for every wood or wheat sold, depending on everybody. There's one more. Oh, here we go. Max production goes to 5. So normally you can only take 3 goods when you produce. This one will allow you to take 5 goods from those cards as a way to quickly get those up. You can only do 1 of each type of letter. So you can only do 1 B or 1 P or one of the other letters at a time when you're doing these building benefits. So just know that. The last thing is purchase a town. We already went over that. You pay the cost, whatever it is. You just get it. It's base points at the end of the game. Plus, if you have another railroad card to go with it, it's an additional 2 points. That is how you play the game. The game, like I said, ends when you have the one of this deck or this deck empty. Count up victory points. Person who wins the game is the person with the highest amount of victory points, obviously. But there's not a race. It's not a whoever ends it first. It's just a whoever ends it, and then we finish everything out. Whoever then has the most victory points wins the game. Money is not victory points. In fact, it does you no good at the end of the game, other than unless you have the mission card that says have the most money at the end of the game. So that's it in a nutshell right there. Raccoon Tycoon. Look, that fits my hair. What do you know? Economic game, price manipulation, boxing other people out, auctions, quick turns. It's just this is a win. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I loved this game. I thought I would like the game because, like I said, we had a Westie. Carl and I, when we first got married 11 years ago, we got a Westie about a year into our marriage, and she just passed.
Give me that penguin. Penguin.
We loved our dog quite a lot, but when we saw this, we're like, wait a minute, is that cute animals in Victorian era costumes? I was instantly sold on this game before I had a clue how the game played. The title of the game is Raccoon Tycoon, right? We were going to get this game no matter what, just from the title, just from the art of this game. Well, then we got into playing it, and this is a fantastic game. The fact that you can do one of those 5 things on your turn. Turns play quick. If you're producing, you're getting the goods and you're raising the prices. If you're selling, you're just selling and you're dropping the prices of those goods that you sold and you get all the money. If you're auctioning, well, if you don't auction and you don't get it your turn, you can get it another auction potentially. And my favorite aspect is the fact that the money is secret. I love the fact that money is secret knowledge in this game because you could potentially fool people. If you have your stack of money sitting there with the 1 on top, you can hopefully fool people into thinking you have less money than you do, and then you slide it over a little diagonal shift or a little sleight of hand method and be like, oh no, I have $180 here. You only thought I had that much. I like the little mission cards that add a little flavor and a little bonus to the game. I just love this game all around because it's a quick economic simulator that you can get done rather quick and rather easily, and you can teach it easily. There's 5 things you can do. Here's what you do on your turn. It passes around. Once all these cards are gone or all these cards are gone, that's the end of the game. I love a game that you can teach very simply and the concept is just there on the cards. The symbology is there. I like the spice that the buildings add. The one thing is I didn't feel like we, in all the times we played, have gotten to get the buildings into play quite as much as we should. I feel like there's a winning strategy there using the buildings right. So I'm going to take a look at that more. But part of the problem was the buildings that we had out, and correct me if I'm wrong, Glenn, and the rest of the people watching, I don't know that there's a way to refresh the buildings that are down there other than buying one, and that to me might be an issue. And if we played that wrong, then there's a chance of that. But that's my only issue is you don't have a way to really refresh that market. I love this game, though. I love everything about it. I love the theming. And people say, well, it doesn't really have a lot of theme. It does. You're a magnate, and you're buying stocks in the stock market. You are these characters. You're investing with the Raccoon Tycoons, or you're investing with the Westies or the fat cats and all this sort of stuff. It's gorgeous. I want more from this world, right? In fact, Glenn, if you're listening, I want an engine building economic game based around stage magic in which you're stealing each other's tricks. Read Hiding the Elephant from Jim Steinmeier. You'll know what I'm talking about. It would be amazing. I can't wait to see this. In fact, put me down. I'm kickstarting it right now. But I love this game. Raccoon Tycoon is a fantastic economic game. Again, it's quick to play. It's quick to teach. It's easy to learn. It's fun. It always feels like it's your turn. And it's just a great game all around. It's fun to look at. The cards are nice sized in your hand. So go and get Raccoon Tycoon. You will not regret it. It is a fantastic game. Again, I'm Brian Drake here on The Latest Retro on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us at Twitter at The Latest Retro, Instagram and all that. And we will see you next time.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower